this is the core of why we're here. So I'm basing these meetings on the idea of tribes, particularly the tribes that I've bumped into or learned about in my time in South America. And what these tribes would do is they would get together and usually take ayahuasca or another psychedelic medicine, which allows you to expand your consciousness. And then you would have like the shaman, the chieftain would sort of share this energy or this vision. And how they would manifest these things for their tribe is to have this collective vision. And it could be like about getting enough food for your tribe. It could be something related to war or anything like that. But the key point is we all take medicine, and that part is missing, but feel free to microdose or do whatever you want at these meetings. But yeah, you take medicine to expand your consciousness, and then you all focus together on one thing. So that's the key point here. And if you take nothing else from the meeting, I encourage you to try this out with the people in your life and just give each person a chance to share their vision, and see what happens. So we will hand off the talking stick, and we go by who got here first, and then I will sort of go last. So and then you talk uninterrupted, so don't interrupt anybody. And then when you're done, you'd say, okay, I'm ready to pass the talking stick, or you can just hand it off to the next person if you know who that is, which you should, because we're going by the first person here, and that was Claudio. So once again, I'll real quick read it. Is the brightest vision for a world where helpful ideas have more power than distracting or destructive ones. Claudio, can you hear me? Claudio? Oh no. I don't know if he got lost or...
No, I was listening, but I didn't realize you were asking me a question specifically. I think you were affirming something. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I read the vision statement again. But yeah, we're doing the last part of the meeting. Basically, we're sharing the vision of a world where helpful ideas are more powerful than distracting or destructive ones. Yeah. Where good ideas spread.
Well, I think changing a little bit our perspective, at least in a collective sense, we can develop a lot into that direction, especially if we look at every problem with an intention to find solutions. By trying to find solutions to any potential problems, like on getting adoption or sustainability, how to integrate nature into technological systems, all that can boil pretty much into problem solving. Because if your idea or any idea is solving a potential problem, then it's way more useful. It has way more utility than something that hasn't. So I guess on this project specific that we cXc, the utility, it's all in there. For me, it's never boring to hear you speak about every quirk of the plants. It's on a niche related, which is related with music, and everyone knows that music and sport a lot of people together, not even politics, not even like, I don't know, there is a lot of things, but only a couple of them actually together. And the music's one that I'm a musician. I think it's really necessary to new approach, like they got some problem from centralized solutions that are in the market out there, and you don't against them, you integrate them in a decentralized alternative. So for me, this is something along something that was already built. A reason for like a constructive idea and force like this to not get to people and become a thing. It's only a matter of time, actually. So changing perspective, boiling that to that.
All right, thank you.
Perspective can be the thing that will make us focus on distracting us and destructive thinking.
I love it. Would you like to pass on the talking stick? I think you're having a little bit of delay issues, Claudio. But I think you were done. So, or did you have anything else? I can't hear you now.
Sure. I would like to pass to Joseph because he's the one that I've known. Okay. So can be to Karelia.
No, okay. It would be to Chuck because we're doing it by who shows up. I mean, rules aren't that.
Having a lot of problems with computer. It's sure if.
Oh no, we lost him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he had technical difficulties. But anyway, let's pass to Chuck because we usually do it by who's here. I mean, it's not super important, but we'll go to Chuck and then Karelia and then Joseph and then me. So,
can you just restate your mission statement once again?
Or the vision of what we're talking about.
The vision statement, yeah.
What's written? Well, it's not a vision statement, but it's what we're talking about. The vision that we're talking about statement. Yeah. So share the brightest vision you can imagine for a world where helpful ideas have more power than distracting or destructive ones. So that's what's written, and what it really means is like, how can we help good ideas? You know, because all these kind of bad ideas and scams they can get everybody, right? So why can't we? What's wrong with the good ideas? So yeah, take it away.
Yeah. It's tough. The best scams look really attractive too, and I'm really concerned with like simplicity and beauty. And I in my design stuff, I guess I'm artistic in the sense that I'm a musician, but I don't draw with my hands or anything. I try to lay things out logically and simply. And I think, as Dostoevsky says, the world will be saved by beauty, and we like the simplest way to express something. And again, I think that making stuff fun is very, very important. As long as it's true and beautiful and fun. People are going to jump on it, and that's some of the most engaging things I've seen, and that's why gaming is the leading indicator for technology in general. If it succeeds as a game, it'll succeed in every other application, and that's why we see. I mean, GameFi is going to take off, and we already know that it's taking off. But if we can gamify things and make them fun, they'll become viral, and the good ideas will take off, and the bad ideas just won't be fun because they just by their nature they aren't fun. And scams will out themselves and everything. They'll copy good thing. They'll, the scams will try to copy the good things that we're doing, but they won't have the longevity that the good things will have. So I want to dedicate my work to being true and simple and beautiful and fun.
Love it. Okay, would you like to pass on the talking stick to
Grelia?
Yeah. Thank you. Well, I think this subject is really complex because we're all different tribes, sort of saying, like in terms of culture and how people communicate their ideas, even with language, So I think like all I can think of it's for, I don't know, in a specific community when because I feel like trying to get these helpful ideas more exposure in a world where marketing or like attention dragging and distracting and entertainment stuff is more attractive, and we can see it like in the news, we can see it in the social media and apps and everywhere, like whatever is like super interesting to watch or like something that you have never seen, even though sometimes it's like completely not helpful at all, it's the stuff that gets more attention, right? So at the end of the day, it's like you gotta I guess it's just train yourself to focus your attention in what you really want to create. And I sometimes when I have these like questionings about this sort of stuff, I kind of like tend to like redirect it back to myself. How can I start doing myself first, and then projecting it into the world? Because I cannot make someone else that loves to get distracted in their ideas or get distracted ideas because it feels good for him or for her. I cannot try to convince her to do otherwise. Like, it's impossible, right? I mean, I can influence it, but like, I think focusing first in what I can do with myself and my own attention, and how am I training myself or training my mind in order to guide this sort of goal that's beyond this physical matter. It's more of like a consciousness thing, that it's connected to nature, it is connected to a greater understanding of what an idea is, or how growth, what growth is in terms of community. And then I can start reflecting that into the world from the inside out, right? So, but yeah, and by doing that, I think at some point we can influence our reality, and then other people can actually resonate with that, and we can all grow as a collective, right? And sharing that, genuinely sharing like how we are connecting to this truth, connecting to these helpful ideas. And sometimes when I get introduced to many ideas, I try to also like feel what really resonates with me beyond like if it makes sense with my mind. Of course, it had to make some sense in order for me to understand it, but also like I turn on my intuition and I turn on this other sense that allows me to really feel if this is at least what my consciousness is saying. Yes, go for it, or like this feels right, this is it, right? Or this is going somewhere, like, this is good, and no, this is just a scam, this is just someone that's just like trying to create the best mask in order for you to sell you this story or sell you this idea, but at the end, like, that this person is like, or this idea is really not fundamental. It's not rooted back to the whole. It's just like out there, bubbling up in the grid of consciousness, trying to attract more attention and create his own black hole or something. I don't know, but that's what I was trying to say. And yeah, this is a really interesting topic to talk about and something to discuss. And finally, I want to say, like, one way I really find ideas being shared in a more helpful way is in circles, right? For example, right now, like, we're sharing these ideas, and we all have the opportunity to talk at certain time, right? And that allows us to really express ourselves and to listen to others and keep expressing. And sometimes it's even better when, like, after one round that we discuss this, for example, this topic, then the leader or whatever person is be able to condense this information and express it in a different way. Then we go again in another round that's connected to the same root of the subject, and then we keep creating and growing, like, in a form of a spiral. And that way we can kind of, like, perceive and, like, tap into a different understanding of what we are trying to learn or share. And I think that applies more for ideas, and specifically if we want to change something or who want to, like, express something. That's good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Joseph, if you're still around, Corellia, would you like to pass the talking stick to Joseph?
I would like to pass the talking stick to Joseph. Yes. I hope
Joseph, I don't know if he ran into a real life situation. Oh no, he left. He got shot.
Yeah.
He was here the whole time and he got shot. No, I'm just kidding, Joseph. Anyway, I guess I'll go ahead then. I want to touch on what everybody said real quick before I start. I think it's really important what Claudio said about problem solving, and I'm going to relate stuff back to CXC. With CXC, one of the big feedbacks I've gotten is, like, nobody knows that this is a problem. Like, nobody understands that finding local music is hard, or they can have these other experiences with music, because, like, we're just so used to receiving it in the same ways, and there's so much good music that we often don't search for the local artists, which we would also enjoy, because we're satisfied just listening to Tadao on YouTube or listening to these jazz streams on YouTube. Welcome back, Joseph. So you're next if you want to go. I was just touching on some of the ideas before I went in. So would you like to share your vision? And if you want, I can read you the thing again.
Yeah, I'd love to share what I was thinking. My phone just overheated. It was sitting in the sun on the dash.
Oh,
Shut down for a second. So what I was thinking was the prompt seems that where my mind goes with it is if our world could have a system of accountability and disbursement, or distribution rather, where good things that had a net positive effect on the world would be the things that are the most rewarded. Whereas our current economic situation, our current economic systems that run the world, they reward things. It's not aligned with like a karmic balance, or with the things that are necessarily the most net good for the world. I think one way to go about this would be if a how, like the way to answer the question of how, if I just answered what, would be for, in incentives to be made for things that have a net positive effect. So a counterexample now would be that there might be these really good ideas that solve one problem in the world, but the current economic situation doesn't account for side effects of things. So it doesn't account for a full picture net result of the issue or of the idea. You're only rewarded for the initial service or the initial deliverance. That's where my mind went with that prompt.
Well, thank you, man. That's some deep stuff with a lot of implications. Would you like to pass the talking stick?
I would love to pass it to you, Douglas. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. What I like to do is I like to give a little bit of feedback on what I picked up to reiterate everybody's ideas, and then I'll share my ideas. So I just was talking about Funkaclaw, and so Claudio was saying about, like, one of the key points that I focused on was problem solving, and how these ideas that solve a big problem, they naturally bring people to them, and that's like so important to realize, like the energetic side of it. Like, it's not always that we need to go out and hand a business card. Sometimes it is, but sometimes we just need to make people aware that they have a problem, and then they'll seek out the same resources, or make the solution known for a known problem. Chuck, real quick, was talking about fun and how the perfect solution is going to be beautiful. And I think that is like something simple to put in your mind and realize, like, it's about having fun. Like, I can be super serious and for no reason. Like, as soon as I just like jump into this like technical programmer side, like I want to make everything like, oh, this is going to be structured like blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, like, we're humans. We're here, and we're spending time together. And I hope that it is fun. And I hope that we all get something from it. And the solutions that we design, we have to understand that. And the counterpoint of that Corellia talked about briefly was like the problem. The opposite of simple beauty is kind of like shock, awe, attention grabbing, which can be beauty as well. But like grabbing attention can sometimes distract us and bring us in different directions. So it's about, like, whenever our attention goes somewhere, go back to our truth and connect with our truth and how we can move that forward. And she also mentioned power of getting together in a circle and sharing ideas, and I think it's super important. And I hope that we can do cXc Tribe so well that other people want to do it as well. So now to my ideas. Actually, I didn't talk about Joseph's, I do not think, but I think, the accountability and the net positive, like that's what we want to do at cXc. Like, I designed this whole economic system so that it's just sharing positives, just sharing incentives for things that you like. And we are starting with music. We want to make the full system with music because I like music and it's fun. But eventually, like, it's always been in the plans to have these solutions on a map and have people upload these solutions. So, that is a net positive because it doesn't cost anything to send it up. And then the person will receive a little bit of crypto money, but also a little bit of recognition that their idea is good. And sometimes that's all we need, especially when we're working super hard for long hours. Just one like, just one retweet with a nice message is super meaningful. So anyway, to my vision. My vision of how we do this is to activate each part. Like, I see what we're doing here as connecting on one idea, but also like empowering people to go out and work themselves and work towards these shared ideas and these shared desires. And now that I've been in Eden and I've been in Fractally, like, I was amazed at how well the Fractally system got people to go out and work basically for free, right? So and really, the thing that was lacking from that for me was just the feeling of recognition of that these ideas are being reincorporated into the system. So that's what I really want to do here. And I know it's not as intense. We're not like focused on contributions and things like that. We're more focused on ideas right now. But I do want to onboard by empowering each person of the organization, and that's in a loose sense. Each person who's considers himself a stakeholder in cXc can go out and bring people in, and then when they do bring people in, they are rewarded for that, right? So perhaps we could do like a token incentive for that. Like if you bring another person to the meeting, you could get an additional incentive. I just thought of that idea now, but yeah. So that's my vision. Is we empower good ideas by connecting one-to-one with other people and sharing these ideas, as I feel like I have with everybody here. Maybe Chuck a little bit less because we kind of have a relationship with the Eden aspect and less of the cXc aspect. But like, yeah, like just being genuine and honest and making that first raving fan. And that first raving fan that you encourage and you tell them what to do, which is my big problem. It's like Joseph will come to me and be like, "Hey, I want to help. What can I do?" And I'm just like, retweet, or like, I don't have these things. So, that's something that we need as well. Like, if you have ideas to onboard, Chuck, thank you so much for the opportunity to do these cards, and I want to do that as well. I think that's a great thing that would help me right now to hand out things to people at these crypto meetups where they could get a free NFT. So yeah, like that's it. Is making each member a raving fan of cXc so that you want to go talk about it. I know Claudio is just the biggest fan of cXc and he talks about it so much. So thank you for being an example in that part. And yeah, like I'm not perfect, so tell me how I'm not perfect. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, what I could do better. And yeah, let's keep growing together and growing this concept of cXc tribe and just the wider concept of tribe, because like more than onboarding people to cXc.world or anything like that, I want to onboard people to new systems and new ways to think about things, and this is one of those systems that we're testing out. So thank you all so much for being here, and with that, I don't believe I have anything else other than you are all now officially have the opportunity to be a villager. You have done all the requirements. Everybody here has been active in cXc or somewhat at least for the last month, and now have showed up at this meeting. So there is a form, and it should be on the Luma website, but if you can't find it, do shoot me a DM and I will send you the form, and you'll fill out the form and become a villager, and then you'll be able to purchase current exchange clothes. We have a clothing line for cXc Tribe, and you buy the clothes, and then once it arrives, take a picture of it with yourself, so I know you didn't just like send the order and then cancel it before it got there, and then I will send you 100% rebate, 100% at the current swap rate of purple. So you're getting the garment like pretty much for free. You get something to rep cXc, and you do have to spend money, but you get the money back in purple. So definitely take me up on that opportunity. You have, as a villager, you have $50 per month to do that. So you can get like a t-shirt and some stickers or something like that, or maybe 2 t-shirts. But yeah, if you need more information about that, let me know, or check out our link tree. And then final point of business is I want to send you all 12 purple. So even if I do have your address at some point in chat history, maybe not for you, Funka Claw, I definitely have your address at Corellia, but Joseph and Chuck, definitely send me your wax address again, and I will get that off to you probably today. But I do have I have to go into work in a few hours, and then I have a meeting and another meeting and blah 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 blah. So if I forget today, I apologize, but I will certainly get it to you this week. And then I want you to send it to 3 people. Just find three people to send them 1 purple, and then let me know that you did that, and I will send you 15 more purple. So thank you guys. Anybody else want to follow up on what other people have said before we dip out of here? Or final notes, final goodbyes, and we can just peace.
So I think it's a good idea on like the whatchamacallit, merchandising and stuff. And we can even like include some stickers with these QR codes, so we can actually like maybe connect that to refund what people will spend on these stickers, or passing them along or something. If we can make cards and stuff like that, and other people can actually help with this promotion as well, as a form of stickers, maybe that would be a good idea. Yeah, that would be it.
Okay.
Thank you so much to everyone that show up, and yeah, have a beautiful day.